What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible, as many great debaters as possible, as many of these first and 15s as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one. We appreciate your support. Now, today on the first and 15th, something I've been thinking about for a little while. As you guys may have been seeing on our shorts, I've been posting a lot of my Super 7 reaction figures that I'm very glad I got. Shout out to my parents, shout out to my wife, and shout out to myself because I bought myself several. But definitely collecting more and more of these, and I think it's important because as somebody that grew up loving, listening, studying, and respecting and admiring rap to start getting these action figures. Yes, I'm late to the game, but I think it's important because it just shows that this rap culture, hip hop culture that we have is what I grew up imagining, hoping, wishing, and wanting it would be. In fact, I did first and 15th a little bit ago. Here's the link to it. Check it out. What was hip hop supposed to be? This is what I dreamt it would be, to be able to, make a living off it, to be able to listen to it all day, every day, and for it to penetrate basically all forms of media and entertainment, which is done, which leads us nicely into these Super 7 action figures. But in particular, I wanted to talk about the Eric B. and Rakim ones because they represent something else to me with rap and the fact that they're now immortalized not only in music and in videos and in memories, but now with action figures, I think is very important because let's take out the first set. I posted this on my, I haven't posted this one yet, but the Paid in Full, man, this era and this breakdown, you got the Eric B's got the vinyl, the money, they got the chains, Rakim's got the money and the microphone, and it's just a very, very powerful and very, this is just strength, man. It's not wisdom and understanding, but it's also strength and power and being reliant and forceful and all these things. And obviously, it wasn't the first song they released, but when you get the Paid in Full album and it starts off with I Ain't No Joke, that just lets you know right away what's happening. That video is incredible. Flavor Flav is in it. So much going on. And when you go through the rest of the album, I'm not going to go through every track, but My Melody, it was just this forceful power and this calm, steely demeanor that Rakim has on the mic, but then also in person, also in the videos. I know you got Soul, maybe is my favorite song on here. It's hard to say because there's so many great songs. You got Move the Crowd, and then the title track, of course, Paid in Full, which is what, the album cover is, and these action figures from Super 7 Re-Up, reanimation, or reaction figures, I should say, is what you get. And just to have these and just be able to not only think of it, look at the album cover, think of it, look at the CD if you got that or the cassette, but then also be able to watch these videos as the rhyme goes on. I think is another under heralded one. Eric B. as president, of course, helped him kick in the door. But bottom line is, when you see this power and you see this strength, and then you see it reflected and manifested here on these dolls, man, and these the reaction figures from Super 7, I think it's just commendable and exciting because as somebody that has loved this, to be able to say like Chuck D famously said, most of my heroes don't appear on no stamp, but now we have so many of our heroes that are now action figures. And Super 7, of course, isn't the only one that does them, but these in particular I really love. And then the thing that made me really think about it is when you get into the 1988 album, Follow the Leader. Paid in Full, of course, is 1987. Then the following year, you get to Follow the Leader, and this is represented, the Dapper Dan suits, of course, were signature for Eric B. and Rakim. But again, you got the vinyl, the microphone, the money, the suits, the chains. This just takes you back to the era and it represents it, but it also has this power. The Follow the Leader song, the video is very impressive and very striking because of kind of that mafia theme and Rakim getting shaved. It's a lot of power in there, a lot of strength. And then with the old school kind of aesthetic and costuming that they had in there, I just thought it was phenomenal. And the music, of course, is very muscular and very driving. And then you flip it to a microphone fiend, which the beat also had done something with that sample. Check it out on the 1st and 15th if you haven't already. But just that sample, so many people used it after Eric B. and Rakim, but I would argue Eric B. and Rakim did it so powerfully on Microphone Fiend that, it might have had something to do with those other songs maybe not catching on as much, or people just always thinking of it as an Eric B. and Rakim beat, even though, of course, it's a sample and you can't own no loops, as Guru would say. But also with Father Leader, you get Lyrics of Fury, possibly one of Rakim's greatest lyrical demonstrations, verbal exercise, verbal dexterity, verbal gymnastics, everything that he's got going on Lyrics of Fury is pretty phenomenal, as anyone that knows and loves that song like I do knows. But I just think it's important that we get these representations because this ties into something that I think is extremely, extremely important in what's going on in rap today. And I just want to put these up side by side. But I remember being a kid, and some of this, of course, I'm sure is because I was young at the time. But the reality is, I just looked at these dudes as icons, as people that I could learn a lot from, and that were strong representations, and that were solid dudes, and that were very strong in many ways. And that's something that I think we need to get more of, to see people that we can actually rely on, depend on. And I think that, Rakim, especially as a lyricist, as a man of principles, and as somebody who has delivered some of the best, if not the best, lyrics in rap history. I just think it's important to understand and to put this value because for me as a listener, of course, it was deeper than rap. It was somebody that I could learn from, somebody I could admire, somebody who I could pick up things, somebody who taught me so much. And that's the type of thing that I think we need more of. Not to say we need all these idols and stuff, but man, it's just this connection and this power that rap had, and I would argue it still has, and a lot of people have that with the newer artists, but I would say people of our generation that are a little bit older, that I think is what's missing is their personal connection, their really, really resonating with them on a deeper level to where it is more than just the music. And that's something that the Super 7 reaction figures really reminded me of, and I think is very important because that's how you as a person grow and develop. That's how you get shaped. That's how you get a lot of things. Whatever the source is, whether it's from a book, whether it's from a relative, whether it's from a friend, whether it's a neighbor, or, like a lot of people, of course, you get it from entertainment as well, and especially music. And I think too that the value we place on music, Master Ace, one of my favorite artists, one of my friends, also had the Disposable Arts album. And that was a condemnation, but also a reaction into back in 2001, the 2000 era, people looking at music as disposable. Master Ace, not surprisingly, was ahead of the curve, of course, with that. But the reality is, as music has evolved and as music has changed, when you're looking at these different things, you have to realize what music meant to people in certain eras. And I see with my daughter, I see with certain friends, like it means a lot to them, or certain of her friends, it means a lot to them and they like it, but it doesn't have the deeper emotional touch in some ways. And that's, of course, my daughter's different from me, but the bottom line is, as a culture, as a society, I don't see it mattering and lasting as much. And I think part of it is because of that strength and that potency and that power, and looking to someone like Rakim as somebody that you could follow and understand and appreciate on so many different levels. And that's why I'm glad that Super 7 came through with these dolls. And that's what I wanted to talk about on the 1st and 15th is the power of rap, the power of this imagery, of the music itself, of the culture. And that's something that I think is very important. And I'm just very glad that I was able to get these, and I would encourage you to get them too. It may give you some motivation, some encouragement, some strength, different things. But I know whenever I listen to Eric B. and Rakim's music, or Rakim as a solo artist music, or I look at these action figures, or I watch their videos, it's very encouraging, and it instills a lot of emotion, stirs a lot of emotion in me, and gets me excited, motivated, focused, and makes me want to achieve great things. And that's something that I think when music and art is delivered at the highest level, as I would argue Eric B. and Rakim did throughout their career, and Rakim continued, especially as a solo artist, and continues to this day, that's something that we could draw a lot from, and the world is a better place for it. So that's why I wanted to talk about it here on the 1st and 15th. As always, you can follow me on all social media at Soren Baker. Definitely, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Unique Access Entertainment. This is the 1st and 15th. We got a lot more. Definitely check out. We got more than 1,000 videos on the channel, most of which are interviews with a lot of the greatest rappers in the game. But for now, that's it on the 1st and 15th. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Either myself or someone at Unique Access Entertainment will get back to you most likely. Right down there, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, all that. We appreciate the support. I'm Soren Baker here on the 1st and 15th.